Hello, everyone. Welcome to our DK Charity build, week 2. This is the first weekend, of the playoffs. It's an interesting one, interesting slate actually. I've built a few lineups today already. I'm actually finding this Saturday slate very hard to build. Last week, we had a nice week last week. Our charity build scored 209 points, and I tell you now, most weeks that would win a lot of money in the NFL, but last week was a bit different. It was very high scoring all round on DraftKings. So, I mean, it was a good week. We still won $10 off the $3 build that we done, which has been donated to Diabetes for Children charity. So this week is for cancer research. So let's try and win as much as we can. As I say, any suggestions, just comment in. I'll get them in, and we'll go from there with it. Really, it's a tough week, especially at running back. If I'm playing over the 2 days, which I am in a few DK lineups, it's a little easier. But tonight's a hard slate. But I'm going to do one tonight, and I'm going to do one tomorrow. I prefer the Sunday slate on DraftKings this week, definitely. Out of the two, if I'm building teams over the 2 days, a lot of it is from Sunday, so we'll see how it goes. I've got a few lineups I like, so let's get started. Like I say, anyone's suggestions, jump in. I mean, QB, this is not where I would normally start on DraftKings. Like I said last week, I like to start at the running back position. But if you look at QB, you've got, Josh Allen's going to be chalk for this Saturday slate for me, and probably, to be fair, chalk that I'm willing to eat. Goff and Wolford are interesting ones, just due to Seattle giving up the most yards to receivers. So they are interesting plays. Don't think I can go there, but they are interesting plays. But for me, it's Tom Brady. Is anyone on Russell Wilson this week? I got some pelters yesterday for my comments about Seattle. I've been saying it for weeks. They're broken. I don't know what it is with that team, but they're broken. Maybe Wilson goes off. I can't put him in any lineup today. I just don't trust him. Rivers is also an interesting one, but Rivers will throw a pick 6 guaranteed. So he's an interesting one because I believe this game has shootout potential. But it's Josh Allen that's on Brady for me at that position. I don't know what other people are thinking. It is what it is. It's a brutal position. But we'll start where I want to start, which is at RBs. Again, I said it yesterday about Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor, the player. This is a very expensive price for me. It's a good matchup against the Bills. They are ranked 23rd against running backs. It is a good matchup. But this game could get out of hand very quickly, which is why I do like Nyheim Hines this week. Hines, I think in total was over 70 total yards last week. That's rushing and receiving combined. So He still worked into this offense. I like him at the value that we're getting here at 4,700. I think it's good value. So for me, Nyheim Hines for this Saturday slate of games is in my lineup here. The other running back I do like Cam Akers, and I like him for reasons that I think if the Rams are going to win that game, they have to run the ball and win it defensively. They're not going to win it through the air. Definitely not in that game anyway. So I think I'm going to go with Ronald Jones here just because he outsnapped Leonard Fournette last week massively, and I think we get touchdown potential here with Ronald Jones. So I'm going to start with Ronald Jones. Now, that is it for the running backs. I won't be going back there again today with this lineup. Definitely not. It's I don't know. It's a brutal week for them, for the running back position on the Saturday. So again, this is the same contest we entered last week. It's a $3 contest. We can win $750K max. Would be nice for charity. We could do that. We'll see how we go. I also think with these big builds like this, you've got to get away from what other people are going to do if you're going to win big. So the wide receiver position, the wide receiver is very nice this week. Over both days, it's very nice slate. But I think I'm going to eat some chalk, and providing that he's playing, I think he's going to play. Stephon Diggs is going into this lineup without question. The Colts are suspect against slot guys. There's going to be no Cole Beasley by the sounds of it. So Diggs plays a lot of these snaps out of the slot. He could have a monster game in this one. So we'll see how we go. Guys, any comments? Anyone you think I should be getting in this lineup, then give me a shout. It's all for charity. Someone mentioned to me Jeff Wilson last week. I didn't really think of it, to be honest. I'd say I didn't really like the play, and he ran in for 2 touchdowns. So again, we can't grovel. The points scored on our charity build last week was amazing. That's a good lineup on DraftKings, 209 points. So the secondary wide position I'm going to go with here is Scary Terry McLaurin at 6,300. This is great value. The Bucs secondary, you can really go at it. And Scary Terry, for me, I mean, at the minute, he's a top 10 dynasty wide receiver. I think he's quarterback proof. He reminds me of Nuke Hopkins that year multiple years when just you've got who's who throw into him, and he goes nuts. And Alex Smith is more than capable. So yeah, we're gonna chuck Terry McLaurin in. I mean, that's our average remaining at the minute, remaining salary there. Now I'm gonna just, before I put my third receiver, I'm going to do what I've done last week. I'm going to work to the DST. The Bills, yeah, like I said earlier, I believe Rivers can will throw a pick 6 in this game. Is that Tom Harrison? Yeah, exactly. He's worth the cost, Diggs. It's chalk. It's definitely chalk. But it's chalk. It's like what I said with Derrick Henry last week. It's chalk I'm willing to eat. I want to be on the side of that chalk. Yeah, Gabe Davis. I do like Gabe. I prefer John Brown in this matchup as well. To be fair, it's a game where we'll see how we go along with the money wise in a minute with this lineup. But I'm not against people chucking in Diggs and John Brown in this lineup at all. But yeah, we're going to go to DST here, and I mean, I like the Bills. Obviously, I think Rivers is going to throw a pick or 2. The Bucs, I don't really like them at that price. Great up front, but I think you can have the Bucs in the secondary. I like Washington at that price because I think they'll get sacks. So that's a good price for Washington, and you could save on that. I also like the Rams at that price because, again, I think they're going to get sacks. The secondary, I don't know what it is. People have come at me. I really fancy the Rams in this game. They're getting healthy, and just Seattle. I don't know what's up with them. They are broken to a core. But I think we're going to save some money, and I think we'll go with Washington because we'll get Washington in here. It's something we could probably swap out later. That's so important within this slate. I was watching Joe Holker's show earlier. If you're going to play on this slate, you have to be able to drop people in and out of your lineup later on. So we'll see. I'm going to chuck Washington in for now. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the Titans. Again, it's gross. But the Seahawks and the Bills allow multiple targets per game to Titans. So, but this is a problem. I like Higbee at that price. That's a nice price for Higbee. But it's a problem for the Colts because I just don't know what Titans it's going to be. I've got a funny feeling one of these Titans is going to not so much break the slate, but be a winner for the Colts this week. So it's not nice. Doyle and Burton, I mean, they're great prices, but they share the same amount of snaps in the red zone, the same amount of snaps all over the field. Like, I just can't. And then you get Mo Alley Cox coming in and Vulture and stuff. I can't get on board with it. I like to know what's kind of going to happen. So I'm going to chuck in my first Ram, and it's going to be Tyler Higbee. I think we're going to get a steadier floor there with Tyler Higbee, and at that price, I like it. So we'll go back to, I think we're going to take a look at the QBs now. We've got nice savings here, so we're doing well. We can probably get Josh Allen in this lineup, and I think it's worth it. So we're gonna especially we're gonna play the Washington D. We're gonna go with Josh Allen on this lineup. So we're gonna chuck Josh Allen in, eat the chalk. I know it's the first game. Kind of scares me that because if he throws up a dud, this team's probably dead. So it's scary. I don't think Josh Allen's gonna though. I think we're gonna get a vintage performance from Josh Allen in this game. So let's go with our third wide receiving option. And let's have a look what we got here. I kind of want to chuck one of these Tampa wide receivers in. Don't really want it to be Godwin. I kind of like Antonio Brown in this game. I just think you can have Washington on the outside. Is Mike Evans out there to be a decoy? He's very questionable still going into this game. Who knows? I'm going to chuck Antonio Brown. So Antonio Brown is our wide receiver there. So that leaves us for 6,400 left. Again, I've kind of said it a lot with DraftKings. Don't ever be scared to. Yeah, you took Vance McDonald's. That's over the two states. But again, this is Vance. I would have. Well, I think Ebron's going to play anyway, so I would have Ebron in if I'm playing over the two states, and Ebron's most certainly my tight end in on the Sunday slate. AB, especially if Evans is out, yeah, definitely. You can have Washington on the outside, so Godwin kind of scares me in this game. Don't really want to go near him at that price either. Yeah, John Brown at that price is, John Brown at that price is gold. I like John Brown a lot this week. Like I say, I'm not against putting him in this flex spot in a minute, but we'll see how we go. We've got quite a nice bit of money left here, and we could potentially maybe pay up a little bit more for defense. I don't know how people feel about that, but I like Cam Akers at this price. This is a nice price for Cam Akers. I don't want any part of Chris Carson. I put it on Twitter yesterday. The Rams haven't given up a game to a 100-yard rusher all season, so this just scares me at this price as well. Woods, don't like Woods' matchup in this game. Cup, yeah, I can get on board with Cup in this game, but if anything, I looked at the game's stats yesterday. Both times the Rams have played Seattle this season, Josh Reynolds has been the number one target for the Rams in them games. I think he had 70-odd yards in one game and it was 60-odd in the other. It kind of scares me there. I don't really want to get involved with that. T.Y. Hilton's interesting, but if I'm going to go back with the Colts here, I prefer Zach Pascal. I mentioned it earlier. Zach Pascal has got the best matchup in this game. He's up against Terrion Johnson in the slot. He gives up the most yards out of any Bills defender. So Pascal at that price is a nice price. I think we're going to roll it back with Smokey here. We're going to put Smokey in the flex. That will leave us with 1,700. So we get rid of Washington D, I think, and now we pay up for D. I think that's what we'll do with it. And I'm quite happy to chuck in the Bills D here. I don't know about you guys. I think that's probably the best play. I think we're going to get a pick or two from Rivers because I think he's going to have to keep up in this game. So, yeah, we'll go with that, and that will be our lineup. But I think that's a solid lineup. I don't know if we can get any more. I don't know what we would get at running back if we went back there with that little bit Cam Akers or McKissick. No, I'm going to roll with Hines still in that game. Yeah, I like what we got here. This is a nice team. It's a nice solid core for the Saturday slate. Tampa D. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't like the Tampa D in this game. I think Alex Smith is solid as a quarterback. He hasn't really done anything wrong this year. I don't know if I can get on board with Tampa in that game. Their D, you can really go at Tampa in the secondary, which is why Scary Terry's in my game. I like it, so cheers. It's all for charity, this build anyway. We do it for charity. We done well last week, so we'll keep going. To the Bucks, like the Bills after last week. Yeah, I mean, the Bucks D is interesting. It certainly is. I just think Alex Smith is a solid quarterback. He doesn't do a lot wrong. So, and it's just the secondary. The secondary, I think you can really go at that Bucks secondary. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we stick with the Bills. We'll stick with the Bills D. I think Rivers is gonna. You think Tampa will be like, yeah, they certainly can. I just don't believe Alex Smith does a lot wrong as quarterback. If one of the, let's say Haskins was there, for example, I'd be all over Tampa. Yeah, I've seen all that. I've seen about Alex Smith struggling with his hammy. It's interesting. Put it out. I'm going to leave the Bills D in. I'm all for other people wanting to play the Bucks. That's I'm not going to say you're wrong there because I think you're right probably, but I'm just going with the basis that Alex Smith plays in this game, and we've got Terry McLaurin in this game as well. For me, whatever quarterback is playing, he is matchup proof anyway. So we're gonna leave him in as well. But yeah, I like the lineup we built here. Let's see if we can win a little bit more than $10 we won last week. But we still won. That was the main thing. Like I said, that lineup is in. I've entered way too many contests this week, as you can see. But that lineup is in. Yeah, we did well last week. Like I said, that lineup from last week would have won money last week, which was we got into other contests with that lineup. But that was my highest scoring lineup out of all of my lineups last week. That would have won some money last week, and yeah, I'm disappointed that we didn't enter more with it. But we won. That was the main thing, and we will hopefully win again. I'm going to be back tomorrow and doing a Sunday slate showdown game for this as well. So another charity game. It'll be a $3K contest, $3 contest that we enter for $7.50, and we'll see how we go. Oh, thanks, mate. That means a lot. Honestly, like it's just fun. I enjoy building these teams, and I built way too many today already. But I'm probably going to lose a lot. But it's DraftKings. I enjoy playing it, and yeah, I urge anyone to, like. For example, there's a free go on Paddy Power Fantasy today. Just have a go if you've never played this sort of format before. It's good fun, and you have to. For me, with any of these contests, you have to be different. You can eat the chalk a little bit, but you have to be a bit different with your lineup building. I've entered a really weird lineup for the Millie Maker tomorrow, so it's I bet I think I've got about 5 Steelers in it. Any interesting bets you've got? It's hard. It's hard, mate. It's hard. We've got less teams to go on this week. I like Zach Pascal for reasons that I've said. I like him for an any time. He's 25 to 1 on Paddy Power for a double, but it's hard this week. I'm not going heavy on betting. I've picked the games that I like. I've done an acca on that everyone saw: Bills, Rams, etc. So look at that. But I'm not really recommending anything. I'd have Zach Pascal for an any time, but the brace, if you want to go with it, go with it. But it's be very small stakes for me, I think, this week. Right, that will be us done. I will be back tomorrow to build a Sunday lineup, and we'll go again. Cheers, guys.